Okay, we're going to solve this quadratic equation, and let me first tell you, we should put the 1 to the other side and then make one side equal to 0 and try to factor that, right? But unfortunately, this is not factorable. Okay, you can try it, but you cannot trust me. So anyway, now we have two choices. Either to complete the square or use the quadratic formula, right? First of all, to complete the square, we will have to divide everything by 2 because we must have a 1 in front of the x squared. But the moment I divide this by 2, 3 over 2, that's a fraction, we don't want to work with fraction, right? So, in my opinion, we will just use the quadratic formula in this case. And let me remind you guys what the formula is, okay? So this is the quadratic formula. And this is the form that we want to have. First, we want the equation in the standard form, namely ax squared plus bx plus c to be 0. And then from here, well, let's make that happen right here first. Do we have 0 on the right-hand side? Not yet, right? We can make this happen by minus 1 on both sides. So now we have 2x squared minus 3x and then minus 1, and that's now equal to 0. Okay, once we have this equation in this form, we can then use the formula which says x will be negative b, and then we will have the plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a like this. And in order for us to use this formula, we have to remember the formula really, really well, okay? Anyway, now we can just say, you see, a is 2, b is negative 3, and c is equal to negative 1. We can just plug in these values into this right here accordingly, and then we can work this out. So now, x is equal to, the formula says we will have negative b, which in our case, it's a negative 3. So we will have to open the parentheses, putting negative 3. This is the b value. This negative was from the formula, okay? And then we put down the plus minus, and we open the square root. Inside, first of all, we have b squared. To do that, be sure you open be sure you open the parentheses, and then you write down the negative 3 inside, and then you square that. And then you put down the minus 4 from the formula. And then multiply a and c. A is 2, and c is negative 1, like this. And on the denominator, we have all over 2a. So I put this all over 2 times a, which is the 2 over there. So now this is a setup. To finish this, we can just work out the computations, and we will be done. So for example, negative 3, we know that's equal to positive 3. And then plus minus, and we'll open the square root first. And now let's work this out on the side right here, okay? So just the inside, just this part, I will show you guys the work right here. So we have negative 3 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 1. Okay, first we worked out negative 3 squared, negative 3 times negative 3 give us positive 9 right here, okay? And be sure you use the parentheses when you set this up, because if you don't have the parentheses, you will end up with negative 9. That's not correct. And if you're using a calculator, use the parentheses right here as well. Now, let's see. Right here, to multiply these numbers, I would suggest you guys to just multiply the numbers first. Namely, 4 times 2 is 8, times 1 is still 8. So put down the 8. And then you multiply the signs. This is negative times positive is still negative, times another negative, negative times negative becomes positive, okay? And then in the end, we see 9 plus 8 is 17. This is a number that goes inside of this square root, okay? And then on the denominator, and be sure this fraction bar is for both terms. The denominator is just 2 times 2, which is 4. And now you have to ask yourself, can we do more? Well, square root of 17, we cannot break this down. So that's actually good, because with that, we are done. X is equal to 3 plus minus square root of 17 all over 4. And let me just write this down better to make us happier, just like this. Anyway, that's it.